What up, YouTube? Got another video for you today. This is another mod that I did, and this is on a Willumsen Blondie. It's made by United Cutlery. It's a pretty cheap buy, right around 30 bucks or so. And it was just sitting there in my little knife storage deal or whatever. And I always have a tendency of messing with this. I do ADC this knife quite a bit, even though it is very large. And it was always just a really heavy knife because of the size, and the ergonomics were okay, but you know, I figured I could always make them better. So I pretty much went ahead and trimmed a whole bunch off of this. You can see, if you guys are familiar with the way she used to be, the handle was really big and bulky. For some reason, on a lot of these low budget frame locks, they have such a big slab of G10 on, you know, on the non-locking side, of course, that it just off-centers the knife so much, and it kind of bothers me. So that, you know, I was able to change that with this mod there. I went ahead with this. This is a camo micarta with orange liner, as you can see there. I kept the factory backspacer, even though I usually always change them. It seemed to work well with this knife, and it being a Willumsen design, and this knife just screams Willumsen and what he's all about. I didn't want to go crazy with the blade, which I could have shortened and chopped it up and done whatever, made something really crazy out of it. I just kind of wanted to keep it the same. So when I opened this, anyone that was familiar with knives would know that this was a Willumsen, but it would look a little different than what they're used to. So we went ahead with the camo micarta on this there. Kept the blade black, factory black there. I also added a pivot trim piece, which is also micarta with orange, so I can tie in the. It was mainly to tie in the orange, the hunter orange liner, so it ties it in with everything else, and it kind of, as you can see, it is raised from it. It doesn't mess with your ergonomics at all. It's just mainly aesthetics there. It also actually it does add a little bit too, because I'm adding a thinner scale on this side. The pivot screw is a little bit longer, which is usually not a big deal. I just put it to the grinder and take it down to whatever size I need to, but I just wanted to go ahead and experiment with this because I've done a couple other trim pieces like this around pivots on some other knives that I've done, and I wanted to do it with this, and was just thinking, well, hey, I'll add some orange G10 on top of that, a little accent piece, and it turned out pretty good. Not nearly that hard to mill or to do, as a lot of people say they do, or it's like some kind of industry secret, the pivot trim deal. It just takes just a little thinking, and you can figure out how to do it there, and having the right stuff to do it. It's not really, I mean, I'm sure people can painstakingly go through and mill it out and do this and that, but I have a couple little bits and stuff in my, you know, my little bag of tricks that makes life a lot easier. This is a real easy thing to do, for me anyway, with what I've got here. So anyway, that's this side. On the other side, I went ahead and I sanded down the frame lock side all the way down to like 1200 grit, and was able to get the majority of that the Blondie logo, or the Blondie the print that they have on there, the little design they have on there. And even though I got all of it out, when I did the acid treatment on this, it kind of found its way back. So now it's kind of like a ghost-like appearance, which is actually a delightful surprise. I think it really adds character to the knife now, because it's kind of ghosted in, you know, like, and I didn't even have to take a torch to it or anything. It was just there, and I just got lucky. If you follow me on Instagram, you know I originally posted pictures of this with the factory pocket clip. Today I ended up getting off work a little early, so I went ahead and did a micarta pocket clip with the 030 orange on top to kind of tie in the front to the back, and that's what she turned out. Just, I don't know if I'm going to put the factory black one back on there. You know, I'm kind of debating on whether the factory black one would look better than this, so you guys can let me know on that. But as far as the thin profile on it, as you can see, it is kind of evened out quite a bit. The lockup on it is just as it was before. It had a little bit around 50% lockup when I first bought it, and it just stayed the same. So everything was milled correctly, you know, so no problem with that. A little bit of crud I got to clean off there, not too much there. As far as centering, she's pretty darn centered up. Action on this knife is just incredible. It's got, believe it or not, nylon washers in there. I didn't swap out the nylon washers. I usually do. I'm just out of bronze phosphorus washers right now, and I am not going to be ordering from USA knife makers for quite a while. My order's been screwed up 2 times in a row, and you know, trying to get stuff to finish up knives I have in pieces. I hate having knives in pieces. I just found myself in a little bit of trouble and had needed to order something, so I had to put it aside, order it, and then try to get it back in a week. And these guys just always, the last 2 times it just sucks because they've screwed up my order. I've got somebody else's order, and you know, apologies are fine on the phone, but you know, just at the end of the day, when you need to get something done and you don't have the stuff there, it kind of sucks, especially when you have my work schedule where I kind of planned it out where, okay, I have a whole 2 days to put towards a project, and then my stuff isn't even in on time. You know, you place an order with USA Knife Maker. If you're lucky, the next day they give you a confirmation, yes, we did the order, and then the following day they ship it out. And for the most part, usually it's 3 days afterwards that, hey, we did your order, and then, hey, we're going to ship it out 2 days after that. So, you know, to spend the extra $2 to upgrade the shipping so you get it quicker doesn't matter. You know, it's a big bummer. Now, they do carry good stuff. The quality of the stuff I get from them is really good. It's just that delivery time. It's very important. It doesn't matter how good the quality of the stuff is if you don't have it. You just don't have it, and you can't do anything about it. So, just a bummer. So I found other sources where I can get my G10 for cheaper, and I'm gonna go ahead and start going with those guys. And I'm starting to get into making my own color scheme G10 anyway, so I'm gonna start ordering more of the 030 and the 060, so I can start putting my own color combinations together depending on what project I'm working on. But anyway, guys, enough of rant about that. This is how she turned out. Pretty happy with her. Pretty cool. It's just a large knife. It's not for some, but it's a pretty cool project. I mean, the knife's like $35, 30 bucks. And it is an acquired taste of Willumsen. I mean, the knife blade's just totally crazy on that, and I didn't like it when I first bought it, but this is like one of my favorite EDCs, and it's only like a $30 knife. It's just crazy. But now it's a little bit more flashy, I guess you would say. The ergonomics are just absolutely freaking just perfect. I mean, they fit my hands and anybody's hands. One thing I did too when I cut out the handle, before the access hole here that to flip it or whatnot was partially covered by the scale, which didn't really hinder being able to deploy it, but I just thought that by cutting this out even more to expose the hole evenly, and also you can see the Willumsen name is an added plus. Another thing also is by when I cut it around to match this opening, it just so happened to improve the ergonomics even that much more. As you can see, when you put your hands on there, that little cutout accommodates 3 of my fingers, and then my pinky sits back over here. If you have a bigger hand, 2 of your fingers. I mean, I can sit back here. I mean, it's just way comfortable now. The handle's a little thinner, slimmed down. The knife is way lighter than it used to be. Like I said, it deploys like a rocket. Even, you know, that's straight up with no wrist flick. You know, $30 knife. Pretty happy with it. Guys, let me know what you think about the pocket clip. Maybe I should switch it to the back to the factory, or you know, I don't know. I'm kind of iffy on that. But turned out well. Let me know what you guys think. I'm on Instagram, so a lot of the stuff, it takes me a minute to put videos up these days, and you'll see a lot more of what I have going on Instagram. And my name's Dave Maddock on Instagram, so really easy to find, and I just post all kinds of stuff. There's stuff I post on there that I don't even find time to make a video for, and it's just a lot easier to pop a picture off to let people know what I've got going on. So guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. Appreciate all the support, all the new subscribers. Thank you so much. You guys take it easy. Peace.